No one in the park noticed the little girl sitting alone on the bench. No one except one police dog. Bruno stopped walking mid-stride, the leash snapping taut in Officer Tara Mills's hand, so suddenly she nearly stumbled forward. The Belgian Malinois stood completely frozen on the path, amber eyes locked on a wooden bench 30 yards ahead, every muscle in his tan body rigid as iron. His tail did not wag. It stiffened straight back like a compass needle locking onto north. Tara had worked with Bruno for 6 years. She had never seen him stop like that. She followed his gaze. A bench, a man, a little girl, and in the next few minutes, everything in Riverside Park was about to change. Maya Chen was 7 years old, and she had been sitting on that bench for 9 minutes. She knew because she had been counting her breaths the way her mother taught her during thunderstorms. Slow, in through the nose, out through the mouth. 53 breaths. Each one felt like pressing both hands against a crumbling wall and hoping it held. The man beside her was heavy-set, wearing a gray zip-up jacket with a mustard stain near the collar. His right knee bounced in a fast, irregular rhythm Maya could feel vibrating through the bench slats beneath her. He smelled like cigarettes, and something chemical and sweet she couldn't name. He had told her there was an emergency, that he was a friend of her father's, that she needed to come with him to the parking lot right now and stay quiet, because making noise would only make things worse. Maya had not moved. She stared straight ahead at the pretzel cart down the path, watching the park behind her, in the small, warped reflection of its stainless steel napkin dispenser. She could see the man's profile without turning her head. She watched his eyes cut toward the parking lot every few seconds, measuring the distance, calculating something she didn't want to understand. Then his hand moved, not grabbing. Not yet. Just sliding slowly along the bench slats toward her wrist. Patient. The way someone moves when they have learned that slow is less noticeable than fast. Then he leaned slightly closer. His voice dropped lower. "We need to go. Now." Maya's breath locked in her chest. She could not scream. She could not run. But she needed someone to notice her without making a sound. Before we continue, if you believe every child deserves to know how to ask for help without speaking a single word, hit that like button and subscribe to the Panda Witness. These are the stories that matter most. Drop your city or country in the comments right now. Our stories have reached all 50 states and over 40 countries, and every single comment reminds us why we do this. Now back to Maya. Tara crossed toward the bench with an unhurried stride, her expression open and easy. The face she used when showing urgency too early could change everything in the wrong direction. Bruno moved ahead of her at the full length of the leash, nose dropping and lifting in rapid succession, processing the invisible information pouring off that bench. The cortisol, the adrenaline, the specific biological language of a child whose body had been running emergency signals for 9 minutes, while her face held completely still. He stopped directly in front of Maya and sat down. No bark, no growl. He simply placed himself between the girl and the man with the quiet, immovable certainty of something that has already made its decision. The man's knee stopped bouncing. Later, Tara would explain it simply to the parents and teachers and reporters who asked. Bruno hadn't been following a signal. He had been following the fear Maya couldn't show. The stress her body had been broadcasting for 9 long minutes, while she sat perfectly still and counted her breaths and held the wall up alone. But Maya had been taught something 18 months earlier at a school safety workshop on a rainy Tuesday evening. A retired K-9 handler had stood at the front of a gymnasium and said something she had stored away the way children store things that matter, completely, without knowing when they will need it. Trained dogs notice what people walk past. If you are ever somewhere unsafe and cannot speak, Find an officer with a dog. Make eye contact. Use small, deliberate movements to direct its attention. You are not giving it a command. You are making yourself visible to something that is already looking. Maya looked directly at Bruno. She pressed her palm flat against her knee, held it, lifted it, pressed it again. Bruno's amber eyes moved from her face to her hand and back. He turned and looked at Tara with the expression she had learned to read over 6 years as clearly as spoken words. Here. Now. This child. Afternoon, Tara said pleasantly, stopping beside the bench, one hand resting loose near her radio. Beautiful day out here. The man smiled, the right shape without any of the warmth that makes a smile real. Sure is, he said. Tara crouched beside Bruno and looked directly at Maya. The girl's eyes were dark and steady and carried a weight that had nothing to do with being tired. Hey there, what's your name? Maya. Perfectly level. It had cost her something to keep it that way. Is this your dad? One beat. Dense and cold as river stone. No, Maya said. The man shifted forward. She's I didn't ask you yet, Tara said, still pleasantly, with something underneath the pleasantness that ended the sentence, like a hand on a door. She watched his eyes move to the parking lot one more time, then back, his left hand pressed flat against his thigh. Bruno pressed his shoulder against Maya's knee. Maya's fingers found his fur without looking down. Her exhale came out slow and long. For the first time in 9 minutes, she was not holding the wall up alone. Within minutes, 2 more officers were already moving across the park toward the bench. Not long after, the man's identity came back through the radio. By the time Tara reached for her phone, Maya's mother was already on her way. She arrived crossing the grass at something between a walk and a run, her phone dropping somewhere behind her in the grass without her noticing, her eyes fixed entirely forward. Maya came off the bench and closed the distance in 5 running steps. Her mother caught her and held on. No words at first, just arms, and the particular silence that only exists when something almost happened and didn't. When the version of events you cannot let yourself imagine got stopped, just short of becoming real. Bruno sat 3 feet away watching them, his tail moving in one slow, steady arc. Tara gave them their minute. Then Maya pulled back just far enough to look at the dog. Her eyes were wet, but her voice was steady. He saw me, she said. Her mother looked at Bruno, then at Tara. Her throat moved. He was already looking, Tara said quietly. Maya just helped him know where. In the weeks that followed, Tara spoke at schools, community centers, and a packed evening session at the Henderson Public Library, where parents filled every seat and lined 3 rows deep along the walls. A father near the back raised his hand. How do we teach this without scaring them? Tara was quiet for a moment. The same way Maya's mom taught her, like useful information, like showing a child where the emergency exit is. Not a reason to be afraid, a reason to feel prepared. She paused. Maya wasn't brave because she wasn't scared. She was scared for 9 minutes straight. She was brave because she remembered what she knew. The room was quiet. Then parents started writing things down. Teach this to one child today. Not with fear. With the same calm voice you use to explain where to meet if you get separated at the mall. Teach them that a K-9 officer is not just a dog to admire from a distance. It is a trained animal, already scanning everything around it for exactly what a frightened child's body broadcasts. That staying calm enough to think is itself a skill. That being seen is sometimes more powerful than being loud. You may never know if it matters. Maya's mother didn't know, until a Saturday afternoon in October, when her daughter came running across the grass and held on, and neither of them let go for a very long time. Sometimes survival isn't about shouting, it's about being seen.